Hood fame, everybody know my name when I come through, but don't nobody screaming like you.
Alright, hello and welcome back to another video. Today we just finished doing this other video, finishing up the engine bay, and now I'm gonna give this bags a go. I had a look at the wiring and everything, and I think I actually might be able to do it myself because it comes with all instructions and stuff. It doesn't seem too hard, but apparently I have to get a grinder and cut out where my holds my spring in the thing there. I don't know what you even call it, but I know what I mean. Anyway, we'll see when we get to it. Probably have to cut that out though, so wait and see. That's probably going to be the biggest pain, I think, because I don't know how to fit a grinder in there to cut that out. But anyway, let's get to it. So I had another look at it, and this has two little pins. It looks like it goes onto these, which will give me room inside of here to have the air lines. So at the moment I'm thinking I'll put a hole in there or something, somewhere in here, to run the air line through and into the car. But yeah, that's definitely going to have to come off, and then has a hole inside where this is going to go through, and then I'm guessing I got to put a hole in the bottom somewhere to put this bolt on to hold it on there. But yeah, just figure it out as we go. Alright, so got those off. Next thing I'm trying to take this bolt out so I can drop it down further, and then I'll grab a friend's truck grinder to cut that, and a drill to drill a couple holes. So I don't know if you can hear over the lawnmower, but I've been at this fucking single bolt for about an hour, or probably not an hour, half an hour, try and get this one little bolt off. Got it close, but it's starting to just strip it, and it's freaking doing my head in. I'm starting to think I'll have to try and grind this bolt off and then put a new one in it. Ended up grinding that bolt out. So here's the nut on the end. It almost looks like it's just a bolt, but I went to Bunnings and I got some grinder discs and some spare bolts for it. That one's actually exactly the right size. That one's a very tiny bit smaller. So now I'm going to try and grind this thing off. Bit of rubber crap on it. Hopefully it comes off pretty easy, but find out in 2 seconds. Alright, so I was trying to figure out how those went in, because it has like a thread on the inside, but it doesn't have anything to hold it. I pushed it in there and now it's stuck in there, so I'm guessing that's how they go in there. But anyway, I'm going to start drilling a hole. I'm going to put a hole in the top here, and then just up there, to run the wires. But I've got to wait for Craig to bring me over a drill bit, so I'm going to do it with some smaller ones to start, to make it easier when I get the big one. This is a bit rough, but I'm going to grind it up a little bit more, try and clean it up a bit. But the plate will sit it's flat anyway, so if I can just get this side down, it doesn't really matter what it looks like. I just need to clean it up a bit to make it a little bit more flat, so I'm gonna do that now. Alright, I come down here to drill the holes, and I found this was actually filled with like dirt and tire rubber, and so I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to drill a hole in here just yet because I don't know which side the valve goes on. Maybe it goes through that side, and they've set it up like that. Alright, so I've grinded this down a lot more, and do a little bit more, and then drill these holes, put this bag and drill these holes, but that went flat, so I had to go put it on charge real quick. Alright, so this is day 2. Gonna start off this time trying to do some wiring before I try and get back into doing the bags. I thought it might be better to try and get the wiring and the compressor and stuff sorted before I try and do the rest of the bags, which I'll hopefully finish tomorrow, but yeah, we'll see how we go. So they come with instructions. I hate doing wiring and not really good at wiring, but yeah, they come with instructions, so we're going to try and go off that. Yeah. Alright, so I've run those 2 wires along underneath there and through to here, which I'll tuck them in a bit better after. And I pulled this carpet up. I don't know if you've seen the video, they recarpeted this carpet, recarpeted the whole thing. So I pulled it up in the middle. But once all this is done, I'll go through and I'll glue it all back down in the places. And then just got it going along, pulled the seat out, we go underneath the seat and into the boot. Alright, so I'm just going over these instructions now. And looks like I'm gonna have to run them both up there next to each other because that hose has to go into the end of one end of this. So this is basically how I have it at the moment. These wires will tuck back at the back there, and I still got to mount it down. The valve block, this hose has to go into here. I'll probably sit the valve block up here and then have the 2 wires go down into my spare wheel well. Alright, so I'm going to take this bag out to drill this hole bigger now. I've already taken off this little bottom bolt again because I put that on the other day. Took the other side off as well for ready for when I go do that. Yeah, take this off. Alright, so I just put one of these little rubber wire, they reckon, but a rubber grommet thing up on the bolt so it doesn't scratch it all on against the airline and put a hole in it. Okay, well, when you have half an idea of how this works, I spent hours the other day trying to get it to work. It actually ends up being half easy. So I got that on there. I'm going to put these bolts on to the bottom one up. Run this airline, put the shock in, and we'll start that. Alright, so my foot was in the way of most of that, so I only put a short bit in. But luckily the grinder battery died. Literally, I went to do a couple little touch-ups I don't really necessarily have to do to this before I start putting the bag in. But as soon as I let go of the trigger, the battery died. So basically, I'm just going to leave it how it is. I'll show you that in a second. And then we're going to put this battery on charge so that after I get this bag in, we can drill a couple holes and start mounting up those bags and stuff, the compressor and stuff, and hopefully by the end of the night or the end of the salvo, so next couple of hours, this car will have working airbags. So this is where I got up to, just like a couple little rough parts and that I was just going to clean up, but this is going to have a metal plate over the top of it anyway, so it doesn't really matter what it really looks like. It's flat, so we'll put that on there now. Actually, I just remembered I got to drill one hole through there, so I'll go and put this on charge anyway, and I might fiddle around with the airlines and stuff a bit more. Alright, so it's about 8 wires or something, and 2 airlines go from that gauge all the way along through the carpet and up out of here into there. That's the only wire I didn't shorten up, but I don't think it's a bad wiring job for someone that really does not like doing wiring or anything. But I just got this battery. It's only 2 charge, but hopefully it's enough to drill the holes that I need. And yeah, finish the airlines and stuff. See how we get. Alright, so I thought if you have stuck around this long enough, which I hope you did, basically I'll show you how in depth a little better of how I did it. So the other side, so basically drill a hole through there and you put this part in first, and then hopefully this hole will line up, and then that bolt comes up and through. Put a little bit of Loctite on it and screw the bag into there, which I'll do now. That's screwed on. It was a bit harder with the brake line in the way because I couldn't get this bolt undone. So you get this bolt undone, it makes it a lot easier. But now basically I'm going to jack this up and push this bag onto these at the same time. it's very interesting. Right, so this hole needs to go over like 10 mil or so, but there's already an existing hole, so I couldn't get them to not join and have like a little bit sharp, two sharp bits in the middle, so I just made it like this. It's like rough as hell around there, but with this I just put a bit of plastic around it and a whole bunch of electrical tape and to try and protect it a bit more. And yeah, but my battery went flat. I started to do the other side, the same big hole like this, but my battery went flat. So I'm gonna wait for that to charge, make sure all my electric wires and everything are good, and then I only have to drill a couple holes for the earth wires and stuff, and I'll put my shocks in as well. All right, so it looks like it's about to rain again, so I can try and get this done on the outside at least before then. But got this bag in, with my sketchy ass hole, did the same hole on the other side, shocks are in. It's leaking air out of here, it's under bad. So let's fix that and then redo this. Changed it from this plastic looking one to the other hose that I used for the actual bags and that. And yeah, now it doesn't have leaks up here, none that I can feel anyway. Alright, it's currently 6 a.m. in the morning, but I'm about to go to work. That has been at 40 psi, wants to focus, all night, so that's a good sign. So now I just need to trim up some wires, which I'll do after work today, and then we're done. Alright, so last night I left this up at 40 psi all night. When I checked it this morning, it was still at 40 psi, as I just showed you. Now I just trimmed these lines because they were heaps long, and I still got to put a bit of ply under here, which I'm going to screw everything to, which I'll probably do tomorrow morning or something. I'll probably show you that before I finish this video as well. And ignition, the compressor should turn on. Oh, it must still have air in it, so there we go, both of these up. It's a bit hard, should probably do them both at the same time so it goes up evenly. But that's pretty much what I'm going to test it at. I'll give you a quick demo from the outside too. So now the compressor's going again. Now I've used a bit of air, so I'm going to let that fill up before I leave it, and hopefully it should hold at that 40 psi again. Alright, so today going to be hopefully finishing up this airbag skid. I just got to get a bit of timber and mount up these wires and stuff. Now after I trim these wires, I left it at 40 psi all night, and it's still at 40 psi. Well, I was just under it anyway, so that's still exactly the same, which is good. So now I just need to mount everything up, and yeah. Alright, so now the fun begins of trying to mount all this to this bit of timber underneath here. It's going to be a pain in the ass, but I think we can do it. So alright, so my storage keeps getting full, but basically that's all done, and now I just need to go and get a couple more longer self-tapper screws so that I can just put I'm going to put one in the back, and then I just need a couple longer ones just to put down there, and get some super glue just to cover up where I put these screws, because yeah, the rest is in there. It's just that needs to get stuck down. Alright, so battery died, so I need to chuck the air lines and stuff back in, but yeah, that's all mounted up there now. And put another screw in just over here to keep that corner down a bit, but that's it. These will sit down and under here, and those air lines will plug into there, And I think that's about it, guys. So this video is probably going to be fairly long by now. So I'm going to finish it here, and hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like, comment and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.